We'll just share the screen first.
Play from start.
Set up slideshow, no? Okay.
Play from start, Mataji. The first.
Slideshow.
Slideshow. Go to the first.
Okay.
Click on that. Yeah.
It's okay. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna devotees. Today we are going to present Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 1st chapter, and myself is going to take care of 1 to 22 texts. Okay? At the end of chapter 2, Sukadeva Goswami concludes his explanation by glorifying the process of hearing and chanting about the Supreme Lord as the highest means of attaining perfection. King Parikshit, eager to deepen his understanding, then asks further practical questions. In response, chapter 3 begins with Sukadeva describing how people of different material desires can worship by various demigods, while emphasizing that exclusive devotion to Lord Krishna is the supreme path for everyone. Sukadeva Goswami speaks to Parikshit Maharaja, who has 7 days to live. Even at the door of death, the topic to Krishna is Krishna Katha. Parikshit asks, where and when did Vidura meet Maitreya and why did he leave home? A pure devotee's questions are never trivial. Vidura asks nothing about politics or family, only the highest truth, so the answers benefit everyone hearing. To know why he left, we return to the Guru quotes. Called by blind Dhritarashtra for advice, Vidura speaks plainly. Return to Yudhishthira, the kingdom that is rightfully his. The Pandavas are sheltered by Lord Krishna. No dynasty survives making an enemy of the Lord. The real disease is attachment. Dhritarashtra favors his wicked sons over Dharma, and this partiality will consume the Kuru house. How often do we know what is right, yet stay silent because of attachment? A true well-wisher speaks the unpalatable truth. Duryodhana explodes insulting Vidura in open court as the son of a maidservant and a spy to be cast out. Vidura feels no anger. He sees the Lord's energy, Maya, arranging his release, sets his bow at the door and quietly leaves Hastinapura. For a devotee, an insult can be the Lord's mercy to disguise. Lord's mercy in disguise. Duryodhana burns at honest counsel. Vidura stays peaceful under abuse. The difference is Krishna consciousness. Free and self-controlled, Vidura wanders as a lone pilgrim, mind fixed on Krishna, bathing in holy tirthas and living austerity, purification, not punishment. His path now turns towards Uddhava and Maitreya. The arc: counsel, rejection, insult, renunciation, purification. Each step drew Vidura closer to the Lord, close by asking, whatever reversal we face, what door is Krishna opening for me? Like that. Now this will be continued by Raj Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, can you share the slides?
Lalita Mataji?
Yes, I'll share. Yeah.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. My sincere obeisances to all devotees and the teachers. In continuation of the Canto 3, Chapter 1, questions by Vidura, the brief background is that Vidura, after being insulted by Duryodhana, accepts this as the divine grace of the Lord Krishna to facilitate his complete renunciation from worldly politics. Text 23 to 45 focuses on his pilgrimage to various holy places, uh, tirthas, and his eventual meeting with Uddhava, the intimate friend of Lord Krishna, on the banks of the Yamuna. This encounter serves as the bridge between Vidura's external journey and his internal spiritual awakening. Slide 1. Next slide. Sacred wandering of and pilgrimage. After departing Dhritarashtra's palace, Vidura wanders across the land in the humble dress of a mendicant, detached from royal luxury. He visits numerous sacred temples established by great sages and demigods across wealthy provinces like Surat, Sauvira, Matsya, and Kurunjagala. Then, seeing the holy emblems of the Lord, such as chakras and wheel, on temple tops, instantly inspires Vidura's deep, unwavering remembrance of Lord Krishna. Vidura travels alone dressed as a mendicant to avoid recognition. He performs various austerities, sleeping on the ground and bathing in sacred rivers. The key concept of this text is that detachment as a prerequisite for deep spiritual inquiry. Slide 2, which covers text 25 and 26, meeting of the two great souls. At last, the saintly Vidura reaches the banks of sacred river Yamuna. There he experiences the fortune of meeting Uddhava, the most intimate disciple and dear devotee of Lord Krishna. Overwhelmed with the transcendental affection and joy, Vidura warmly embraces Uddhava and eagerly begins to inquire about the welfare of their beloved Lord and his family. He visits holy places where the forms of the Lord are established in temples. He travels to the holy land of the Bharatvarsha, sanctifying the places he visits. The main teachings of these slides are a pure devotee carries the Lord within his heart, making every place a place of pilgrimage. Slide 3, which covers text 27 to 37, various inquiries about the Edu dynasty. Vidura asks his brother-in-law Vasudeva, who is exceptionally munificent and behaves like a father to his sisters. He inquires about the Balrama, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Samba, who resembles Kartikeya, taking on their spiritual and physical well-being. These queries illustrate the sweet family-like relationship that exists eternally among the Krishna's devotees and his close associates. Vidura reaches Prabhasa and learns of the disappearance of Yadu dynasty. He eventually reaches the banks of Yamuna, where he meets Uddhava. Vidura inquiries are not about the politics, but about the welfare of the devotees and the pastimes of the Lord. Oh, Uddhava, please tell me about the welfare of the Lord associates. This highlights the Sadhu Sangha, the association of the devotees, as the ultimate goal of pilgrimage. Slide 4, which covers text 38 to 45, welfare of Kunti and the Pandavas. Vidura asks about King Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, and Prince Nakul Sahadeva, noting that they are protected by Krishna just as the eye is always shielded by the eyelid. He reflects upon the Queen Kunti, who survived immense hardships solely because she maintained constant faith in Krishna's lotus feet. The verses emphasizes that surrendered souls are never abandoned, for the Supreme Lord himself guides and protects them from all the adversities. Vidura asks specifically about Ugrasena, Vasudeva, Akrura, and the Pandavas. He expresses deep concern for those who are surrendered to the Lord. The key insights of these slides are the devotee's heart is always melting for the well-being of fellow practitioners. The key learning points is that acceptance of the adversity, seeing insults or setbacks as the causeless mercy of the Lord to help us detach from the material identification. The power of tirthas, holy places, are meant for internal purification, not just external ritual. They are windows to the spiritual world. Humility and inquiry. Vidura, despite his wisdom, approaches Uddhava with great humility, teaching us the proper mood of student. Focus on the eternal, shifting focus from temporary political upheaval to the eternal welfare of the soul and the Lord's mission. So this is completes chapter 1. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Narsa Prabhuji,
Hare Krishna Mataji.
you will be able to share or you want me to share?
I will try to share this.
Yeah.
one. Okay, it has come.
Good, good. Nice.
Mm,
Slideshow.
yes, 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 this is,
Yeah, Haribo.
I will, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I will present the second chapter of third canto, Remembrance of Lord Krishna. This chapter is arbitrarily divided into 5 divisions. That is, first to 6 slokas, Uddhava's exalted position, 7 to 11, unfortunate situation of Yadus and others, 12 to 14, Uddhava remembers the attractive beauty of the Lord, 16 to 24, Lord Krishna's mercy and bewildering activities, 24 to 34, 25 to 34, pastimes in Vraja. This is as the remembrance of ecstatic remembrance of the Lord by the pure devotee Uddhava. Who is Uddhava? Uddhava is a cousin of and minister of Lord Krishna. He is disciple of Brahaspati. He is one of the Krishna's most intimate associates. He is constant companion in Dwarka, a recipient of Uddhava Gita. Vidura meets Uddhava. After being insulted by Duryodhana, Vidura left Hastinapura. He spent many years visiting holy places throughout India. His pilgrimage purifies his heart and strengthened his devotion. Returning from pilgrimage, he met Uddhava on the bank of Yamuna. Vidura knew that Uddhava was among the Krishna's closest associates and desired to hear about the Lord's pastimes. So Vidura inquires about the welfare of Lord Krishna, Balrama, Vasudeva, Devaki, Pandavas, and Yadus. Speaking and hearing about Krishna purifies everyone involved. So when Vidura started inquiring about welfare of Krishna, Vidva becomes overwhelmed with ecstasy, remembering the Lord, exhibits symptoms of pure devotion, like tears flow from his eyes. He becomes silent. His body trembled. He lost external consciousness. His heart overflowed with love. All these are demonstrates the highest stage of bhakti. Pure devotees experience intense separation from the Lord, which increases their love. And Uddhava recalls how unfortunate the Yadus and residents of Dwarka were, that they could not identify the Supreme Lord. Krishna lived among his devotees. The Yadus constantly saw and served him. They saw Krishna every day. They served him personally. They ate with him. They spoke with him. They protected him with affection. Yet many still accepted him merely as a relative, not fully recognizing him as the Supreme Lord. Uddhava remembered the attractive beauty of the Lord. The Lord is ornament of all ornaments. He is eternal form astonishes even Lord Vishnu. Unsurpassable beauty. Beauty of Krishna surpassed the dexterity of Brahma in creating beautiful objects. Absorption of the gopis. Gopis were anguished when Krishna left them after their pastimes with him. Then Uddhava glorifies Krishna's compassion and transcendental activities. The Lord descends to reclaim fallen souls. He acts like a human but remains supreme. Sometimes Krishna do some bewildering acts, apparently contradictory acts of Krishna. Although unborn, he took birth. He lived in Praja out of fear of enemy. Though all-powerful, he fled from Madura. He has shown mercy to even to the enemies. When Krishna was elected as the chief worshipper in the Rajasuya Yajna of Pandavas, Shispala could not tolerate this and started scolding him continuously. As per the word given to his mother, Krishna tolerated 100 mistakes and then he killed him with Sudarsana and then absorbed into his body. Similarly, Kamsa wanted to kill Krishna and Balrama, and so he invited them from Madura by sending Akrura, and he has arranged wrestling with great wrestlers like Chanura and Mushtika. But these Krishna and Balrama killed them, and then Krishna killed Kamsa and then liberated. Then is mercy to soldiers of Kurukshetra battle. Tadaiva chanya narlokavira yahave Krishna makarvindam netre pibanto nayana viramam pardhapo bhadrastrapottam padamaparasya. Certainly others who were fighting on the battlefield of Kurukshetra were purified by the onslaught of Arjuna's arrows, and while seeing the lotus-like face of Krishna, so pleasing to the eyes, they achieved the abode of the Lord. Then liberation, deliverance to Potana. Ahobakiyam stanakalakotam jigamsiyapayam yadasya sadvi labhegatim datsyu chintam tatanyah kampadayalum saranam rajema. Alas, how shall I take shelter of one more merciful than he who granted the position of mother to a she-demon, that is Potana, although she was unfaithful and she prepared deadly poison to be suckled from her breast. She came to kill Krishna. Instead, Krishna accepted her as his nurse. She attained liberation. She entered the spiritual world. And pastimes in Vraja. Krishna performed pastimes in Vraja, beautiful forests, and on the bank of Yamuna in association of cowherd boys and cows. He is killer of Kamaropa demons like Sakataswara, Trinavarta, etc., sent by Kamsa as easily as child breaks dolls. He has subdued the Kaliya. Kaliya was making havoc to the Vraja people by emitting poison into the Yamuna. And then he subdued them, Kaliya, and sent him to other place. And so that the Yamuna is free from poison and it has protected the Vraja people. Lifter of Govardhana. The Raja people used to pray Lord Indra for getting rains in proper time. But Krishna objected them and asked them to worship Govardhana, who is giving all the things for their subsistence. then by seeing this, Indra asked Samarthaka clouds to rain on Vraja in full strength. The rains has come for 1 week, and Krishna lifted Govardhana and saved all the Vrajavasis and animals of Vraja. Then he performed Rasalela with thousands of gopis by expanding himself so that each gopi feels that she is dancing directly with Krishna. And so many people from upper planets have seen this one and enjoyed this one. And the key spiritual lessons: hearing and speaking about Krishna purifies the heart. Separation from Krishna intensifies devotion. The Lord is infinitely merciful. Association with the devotees awakens remembrance of God. Krishna consciousness is life's highest perfection. Conclusion of this chapter is: the greatness of Uddhava lies not merely in seeing Krishna, but in never forgetting him even after his departure. We all have to follow Uddhava. Hare Krishna. I have completed this.
Yes. Can stop, Prabhuji.
I stop.
Yeah. Stop share.
Yes.
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Both are completed, isn't it, Mataji?
Yes.
Very good. I think you have completed. You maintain the time also. Cover the points. Very nice. Thank you. If devotees have got any questions or want to share anything, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji Mataji, Dhanat Pranam. In this 2 chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3rd, what is the greatest duty of a devotee?
I could not understand.
No, in these 2 chapters, we you have presented this Canto 3rd and chapter 1 and 2.
Yes,
So in
yes.
these 2 chapters, what will be the greatest duty of a devotee we learn from this 2 chapter?
In the second chapter conclusion, I have given that we should remember Krishna and never forget Krishna, following Uddhava.
Means only remembering required. Means only remembering of Lord's required, that's all.
Yes, yes, that is the main thing. Though also remembering even after his departure, all these things. The chapter entirely, the chapter deals with the remembrance of Krishna by Uddhava after his departure in the presence of Vidura.
Yes, that means then why Krishna asked Uddhava to go Badrikashram?
To disclose his pastimes and about Krishna's, to canvas about the Krishna's pastimes and about this Badrika Asrama, he will disclose all the things of Krishna, and so that they will know all the things, and Krishna consciousness will be developed.
Yes, Prabhuji. Means just to, we can say that devotees should learn with these teachings and all.
Yes, yes, preaching is also essential for each devotee.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
we also learn from this that the detachment is not just leaving home, but abandoning, but moving towards the Lord. The purpose of visiting tirthas is to find the association of the advanced devotees who can guide one's internal journey so that our devotional service can be enhanced.
Krishna,
Hare
are you able to hear me?
Yes, Prabhu. Mataji, now we are here.
Okay. I think Aishwarya Mataji should be joining any moment. Until then, probably let's practice some things. Is that okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Prabhu very
Yeah.
nicely presented. Mangalam Mataji and Rita Mataji, well presented PPT. The PowerPoint was very nice. I think it was not AI done, it was manually done, right? After a very long time. Happy to see. Hare Krishna. Okay, let's start the shloka. Tvam bhakti yoga paribhavritir saroja asheshu tekshita pato nanunada pumshan tattat diyata urgaya vibhavayanti. Sorry, yatyat diyata urgaya vibhavayanti tattat vapu pranayase sad anugrahaya. Hare Krishna. Everybody.
त्वं भक्तियोगपरिभावितहृत्सरोजा आश्रेषु ते क्षितपदो ननुनाथ पुंसां यद्यद्याता उर्गाय विभावयन्ति
Tattva
Tvam bhakti yoga paribhavitarit saroja sheshu tekshita pado nanunada pumshan yadhyadhyata urgaya vibhavayanti tattad vapu pranayase tadanugrahaya.
त्वं भक्तियोगपरिभावितहृत्सरोजा आसेषु ते क्षितपदो ननुनाथ पुंसां यद्यद्याता उर्गाय विभावयन्ति वपुर्प्रणयसे तदनुग्रहाय.
Pranayasya sad anugrahaya.
Canto 15.43. Tasya Ravinda Nainasya Padaravinda Kinchal Kamishra Tulasi Makaranda Vayu Antargata Chan Antargata Cha Chakarena Antargata Swaviparena Chakaratesham Sankshobhitaksharajusham Apuchitra Tanu.
जलकमिश्र तुलसी मकरंद वायुः अंतर्गता स्वविपरेण चकार तेषां क्षोभम् अक्षरजुषामपि चित्ततन्वोः.
Ravinda Nainasya Padaravinda Kinjal Kadmishra Tulasi Makaranda Vayu Antargata Swabicharera Chakara Tesham Sankshobhita Aksharajusham Apichitta Tanu. Krishna. Hare Krishna. Aishwarya Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji has joined.
Mataji joined.
Yes, Mataji. I'll just make you the host. Just one second.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Very happy to see you. Hope you're fine, no?
Yes, yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, live is on.
Pranams Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Mataji. Live is on. You can continue.
Yes, yes.
Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Naranam Namaskritya Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamati Ashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Ruttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nishti Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Lange Degirim Yat Kripatam Mande Shri Guru Dina Darinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swami Nidhanamini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatharini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so we are reading from third canto, chapter 26, verse number 1. So the fundamental principles of material nature. This is basically Kapila Dev starts which philosophy? Which is that
Sankhya philosophy.
Sankhya philosophy.
Sankhya.
Why do you think it's called Sankhya? What is it about?
Body and the soul.
Know about
The
and
body,
mind.
the soul, then what else? Only that? Only body and the soul? Also?
Mystic yoga and bhakti yoga.
Mystic yoga.
Yes,
Bhakti yoga and mystic yoga.
Sankhya Yoga basically includes what? Okay, soul, then the knowledge about the soul, the body, then what else?
The relation between the soul and the super soul.
Yes, very good, super soul. And what else? Main thing which you forgot.
The devotional service.
Between the soul and
Sankhya
the
Yoga.
super soul, the position of the soul and the position of
Sankhya
the
Yoga. Main thing, it's there in the heading itself, material nature. No, it's about the Pradhana, the 24 material elements. So Sankhya philosophy is basically on knowing who we are, that is, we are the spirit soul, and the body, matter and spirit. Basically, it's the difference between matter and spirit. So here, Kapila Dev, the Lord himself, he is going to give this advice to whom? Who's he trying to give the Sankhya?
To his mother Devahuti.
His mother.
Devahuti. So it doesn't matter who we are. It says no. What is it? It doesn't matter who you are. Like it depends on how much Krishna consciousness we know to become a guru. Yei tattvete sei guru haya. It doesn't matter kiba vipra kiba nyasi shudra kerenaya yei Krishna tattvete sei guru haya. Kiba vipra, doesn't matter you're a brahmana, shudra or a vaishya, whatever, and a sannyasi or a grihastha or a vanaprastha. Yei Krishna tattvete, if you know Krishna consciousness, the tattva, the truth, sei guru haya. You can become a guru. Who said this to whom?
Chaitanya
Mahaprabhu told to Ramananda Raya.
Ramananda Rai, because Ramananda Rai was just a governor, he was a grihastha, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a sannyasi, he was a brahmana. So, and who is Ramananda Rai?
Arjuna.
Arjuna, who's Vishaka Sakhi. Who's Arjuna, right? And then Krishna is, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is trying to tell that it doesn't matter who you are. Just if you know about Krishna Tattva, you become Guru. So this is the same Sankhya advice or advice which Kapila Deva is giving to Devahuti and Mother Devahuti, and saying that if you know this Tattva, the truth, then you'll know about everything. Okay. I'll start with text 1. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Atete Atate Sampravakshyami Tattvanam Lakshanam Pratak Yat Viditva Vimuccheta Purusha Prakriter Punai. So the translation says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Kapila continued, my dear mother, now I shall describe unto you the different categories of the absolute truth, knowing which any person can be released from the influence of the modes of material nature. Okay, which sloka you remember when you read this? Knowing the absolute truth, we can become liberated.
Janma karma cha me divyam evam yovete
Swadeha punarjanma naiti. Just by knowing about Krishna, the absolute truth, the Janmadya Sayada, the absolute truth, then what happens? We become released from the influence of material modes of nature. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada gives beautiful explanations, and he says about the Supreme Lord, yes, how can we know him? Bhaktya mama vijanati, only by devotional service, not by any other way. Krishna could have included here as karma mama abhijanati, jnana mama abhijanati, but just bhaktya, because that's the only way you can know Krishna. And to understand Krishna means what? His personal form, not like an impersonalist. In his personal form, with his internal and external energy. What is the difference? Internal and external energy? Is it the same?
Internal energy is Yoga Maya and external energy is Mahamaya.
It's only Yoga Maya, internal energy?
Hladini Shakti also.
Radha Shakti.
Madhini Shakti,
Radha.
Radha, devotional service, and then Sambit, there's so many internal energies of the Lord. There is expansions and incarnations. So Krishna doesn't mean only him. It means Atha Krishna Nama Adi, like everything, including. Okay. So how can you know this? Okay. But this Sankhya philosophy given by Kapila Muni is also there, no? This is Kapila Dev. There's someone called Kapila Muni. Know about that?
Mayavadi Kapila.
Yes. Yeah, he was
Yes,
a
ma'am.
Mayavadi. So he was a Mayavadi means what? He just gave the, which philosophy that becomes then?
Mayavadi philosophy.
Mayavadi
What is
Kapila.
it called?
Impersonal philosophy.
Also called as Advaita. Advaita. Advaita philosophy is given by Adi Shankaracharya. That is, they say that the soul and the super soul is the one. So here it is said to understand the Lord according to various categories, one become eligible to enter in the kingdom of God. So why is Kapila Dev giving all this advice to Devahuti, Mata Devahuti? Because she now is in the path of spiritual journey and she wants to get delivered or deliberated. Actually, when her husband left, the son should have taken charge of the mother. But then the son will give lot of knowledge to the mother so that the mother become liberated from material moods. Now, so here Prabhupada says one has to understand the Lord analytically as explained by the Sankhya system of philosophy given by Kapila Dev. Because here we'll see as we go to the next slokas, we'll see what is material nature, what is pradhana, how are the different elements formed, and what is spirit, and what is the panchatattva, the panchabhutas, making the body and the spirit. So the difference between matter and spirit should be known. Okay, this is Sankhya philosophy. And that's what Krishna spoke in the whole Bhagavad Gita, no? The second chapter is starting with verse number, where Krishna starts the philosophy. Which verse?
7th or 8th. 8.
From 11, if you okay, from there he starts, and then from verse number 11 he starts, then Dehi knows everything comes there. So to know the difference between, so once His Holiness Bhaktivinoda Maharaj had come to a temple and he said, we are not human beings with spiritual experience, we are spiritual beings with human experience. That means what? Jivera Surabhoi Krishna Nityadas, or we are actually spirit soul, but we have just human experience because we have come in this body of human. But what do we think? No, we are humans with little spiritual experience. That's what people think. The whole world thinks like that because they think they are mad. We are mad. So once one devotee was very happy. Okay, you know, when you come to Krishna consciousness, you are like flying. So you're so happy. So he was very happy. And all the staff in his office were like morose, thinking about loan and that and this and so many things. Especially metro, no? Just now my brother was calling. So in Dubai metro and all, he was saying, everyone is sad. Everyone, because their whole family is in hometown. They are not together with them. And they have a lot of responsibilities and things to do. So this person who was in Krishna consciousness was very happy. And his boss also asked him, something wrong with you, pagal hai kya? You're mad or what? Because you're always smiling, you're always happy. So that means what? In this material world, you're supposed to be distressed, or they're supposed to show distress to others. But once you know Sankhya philosophy, once we know we are not this body, yes, we need this body to do devotional service, to keep our body and soul together. But too much engrossed in material things will make us morose. Okay, can someone chant the second sloka?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Jnanam nishriya sarthaya purushashyatma darshanam yat ahurvarna itatte hidaya granthi vedanam. Hare Krishna
Hridaya Grandhi Vedanam. So we'll see what is that Hridaya Grandhi. So here it says, knowledge is ultimate perfection of self-realization. I shall explain that knowledge unto you by which the knots of attachment to material worlds are cut. Hridaya Grandhi. Somebody prayed like this, no?
Kunti Maharani prayed.
Kunti Maharani also prayed, no? That please try to remove my knot of attachment from the material world. And how is that possible? In the 15th chapter Bhagavad Gita say that what is that acts of detachment that's called as that knowledge, no, of detachment. So how will that come? Bhakti Pareshanubhava.
Indriyani.
Bhakti Pareshanubhava.
Viraktir Anyat.
Viraktir Anyat. That means what? When you do bhakti, virakti will come, detachment will come from the material world. So Krishna is saying, or Kapiladeva is saying, if you get this knowledge doesn't mean, yesterday I was saying, somebody was saying, why are you not sending Jagannath to school? It's time now for him to start LKG, pre-KG, that, this and all. Then we heard Prabhupada's lecture. Prabhupada says, immediately says, this modern school is like slaughterhouse. Prabhupada says that word. And Prabhupada, it's the Acharya. What is he saying? It's like a slaughterhouse. That means what? In slaughterhouse, does the animals know that they're going to get slaughtered? No. There'll be a lot of leaves and everything kept, and they'll keep eating. They'll hear the cry of the animal which is getting cut, and they don't know that they're going to get cut, or they're in the bodily concept. And what happens? They go and get into problems. So why Prabhupada is saying that? Because real knowledge is not given there. Does any school or college teach us about the soul and the spirit and matter? No. Then all this exams, all this happened, so much strikes and all, and many girls and boys suicided. Just imagine, just because some exam has got cancelled or something, paper leak, and they think that's the final thing in life. What education did they get by scoring 90+% in 10th and 12th? Very, very pathetic situation. And what is the use of sending to such slaughterhouses? So if we can give nice knowledge in our house itself, that's the best thing we can ever do. And what is that real knowledge of? Self-realization. Because God realization and self-realization, which comes first? God realization or self-realization?
Self-realization.
Self-realization
first.
Self-realization.
God realization.
You don't know about the
You
Lord.
realize yourself unless you know the God.
Unless you do not know the Lord.
Both
You are
goes
possible.
hand in hand, that's true. But then first you should know who God is. Then we know we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Then first we should know who is Super Soul or the Supreme Param Brahman. Then we'll know who is Brahman. First we should know the Super Soul. Then we'll know, understand the soul. So because Mame Vamsho Jiva Loge Jiva Buddha Sanatana. So God realization, self-realization should come together. But then first is God realization. First you should know, once one person wanted to get initiation in 1 month of joining the temple. So who will give? But then Prabhupada said, I'll ask you 2 questions. You know, anyone know what was the 2 questions Prabhupada asked?
Who is Krishna?
Who are you
The
and
Supreme Personality.
God. First is who is God. Then he said Krishna. Then second thing was,
Who are you?
who are you? He said, I'm servant of the Lord, I'm a spirit soul. And Prabhupada said, tomorrow is your initiation. And everybody was shocked. Just 1 month he joined the temple. And nobody didn't dare to ask Prabhupada. But Prabhupada knew what was happening in their mind. And Prabhupada said, there's only 2 things we should know. Who is God and who are we? And that both the things he knows, that boy knows, in 1 month of joining the temple. That means what? Devotion is carried from previous life, definitely. So knowledge, this knowledge is nothing but the knowledge about the soul and the super soul and the matter. So he says, I'll explain this knowledge to you, and that will help us to get detachment from the material world. The world's, it's cut, because Urdha Mula Mata Shakam, that is cut. And that what is Prabhupada saying in the purport? He says that one has to see oneself, know what he is, and seeing means what? Hearing from the right source. Seeing Krishna means what? Hearing. So once Surabhi Mataji, that is Prabhupada's disciple, came here, and I said, she stayed in my house, and I was so happy. And you won't believe, 2:30 a.m. I could hear nice chanting on the terrace, just above the house. And I was like, I was getting up because there's a Prabhupada disciple in the house. You can't sleep like that. So we have to serve her. We have to see, she needs some juice, something and all. So Mataji, 2:30, she's awake and she's just chanting and chanting and chanting. And she inspired us also. Many of us tried to copy it, but then it happened for some time, but then again it left. We left. But then she always told me that you have a child, so you won't have attentive chanting once he's awake. So if you want attentive chanting, you have to start chanting before Mangalarati. So she gave some advice and we were following it. And then that Mataji, I was telling her, you are so fortunate, Mataji, you could see Prabhupada, you saw Prabhupada. And this is my only disappointment in my life, that I couldn't meet Prabhupada. I just want to meet him once. And she just turned to me and said, seeing Prabhupada means hearing Prabhupada, not just seeing him. What's the use? Just seeing him, hearing from him and following his instruction. That is Vani Seva. So she said seeing means what? Hearing. And that's true. Seeing can be done by hearing. So Kapila Dev is the right source because he's the Supreme Lord himself. And he is explaining the science of knowledge to Devahuti. So here Prabhupada says we have to see God through our ears. Okay, that's why it's in years. In Krishna consciousness, it doesn't mean how many years you are here. It means how many lectures or how many Shravanam we have done. So here it is said, the real constitutional position is Jivera Surabhoi Krishnera Nityadas. Nityadas. Nityadas means what? Eternally. Eternally. Nityadas. No, it's not just temporary. And here, Hridaya Gandhi Bedanam, in the previous sloka, she said that we have to cut the knowledge of material attachment. And how is that possible? Not possible. See, nowadays, many of you are initiated. How many marriages you attend? No, your family members and relatives, very hardly few, no? Before we were like so much involved. What is happening? What is happening to us? We are getting attached to Krishna, and then detachment from material things is happening. No? All of you agree, no? Anybody just felt the opposite? No. It's happening automatically. No? Many of your material friends left you or are still with you. Some will be.
Yes, Mataji.
But many of them left, no?
Even materially families
Relatives
also
also
left.
start
Family
dumping and
members.
they also leave and
Yeah,
start
family members.
mingling with you.
They don't call you for a get-together. They don't call you for pity parties. Why? Because they have to make without onion garlic or they have to serve you. And some non-veg is served. They feel uncomfortable. We are uncomfortable. And they see the tilak and kantimala around us and they like, oh, there's aliens coming to us. This thing. And sometimes you get special invitations. I got VIP invitation from my relative because they think that we are like godly people. We'll come and bless the couples and so many things. No? They think that we are very, very close to God. Yes. We are like, people are like calling ambulance and police only when in emergencies, right? But then Krishna is like that. Krishna is like a police or an ambulance who comes and helps us in all difficult situations. But then we are not like just dialing it only during emergencies. Every day we dial. Every day we call. And the number which we dial, the Hare Krishna Mahamandra, it is not like not reachable or it's not like out of network area. No, it's always reachable and Krishna personally gets connected to the devotees. And it's Yoga Kshema Mahameham. Krishna helps it. But why is Krishna doing this? Why is, what is it? Harishye. What is that sloka? Yasyaham anugrashyami harishye tattanam sane tadodanam tajantasya swajana dukkha dukkhitam. So when swajana dukkha dukkhitam, the swajana, your own relatives, your own family will become what? Against you. Why? Because you are getting attached to Krishna or you are becoming very without onion garlic, without tea, coffee. They can't even imagine a dish without onion garlic. My cousin was saying, how do you eat without onion garlic? And once I called him for Janmashtami and he saw 108 items and chop and bhog and all offered without onion garlic. And the taste was because of Krishna's saliva. So when one cut the knot of attachment to the material world by his understanding called knowledge, Atma Darshanam happens. That means one is able to see oneself through knowledge. Atma Darshanam means we are able to witness who we are or where do we stand. And when one is freed from false ego by cultivation of real knowledge, he see himself. That is the ultimate necessity of human life. Nothing else. We don't want anything else. We just want to realize who we are. Atma Darshanam. And somebody who doesn't do it is called what?
Atmahana.
Atmahanta or Atmahan means somebody who is the killer of the soul. In the sense, he's a miser. He's not utilizing the human form of life in the right way. Human form only can be utilized in the right way. It means to understand, realize God. But if that is not done, then what happens? we are also the pashu, in the sense polished animal, because aharam nidra vayamaitunam cha samanya edat pashubir narana narbohitesho adiko vishesho dharme nahi na
Pashubhi samana.
dharme nahi na pashubhi samana. Pashu doesn't mean only cow, means an animal. Okay, third sloka.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Anadiratma purusho nirgunaha prakrute paraha pratyagdhama swayam jyotir vishvam yena samanvitam. Thank you, Mataji.
The translation says the Supreme Personality Godhead is the super soul and he has no beginning. He is transcendental to the material modes of nature and is beyond the existence of this material world. He is perceivable everywhere because he is self-effulgent, and by his self-effulgent luster, the entire creation is maintained. So now you can see Sankhya philosophy starts with God realization. Now he didn't speak about soul, he didn't speak about matter. Immediately Kapila Dev says Krishna is the supreme soul, or he is beginless, he is beyond existence, he is beyond the three modes, he's self-effulgent, self-luster, entire creation is maintained or created by him. So first is God realization. First we should know the whole, the three-fourth, then we'll understand one-fourth, or ekam shena sthito jagat. First we should understand the spiritual world, then we'll understand the material world, because material world is a reflection. First we should understand Krishna, the soul, super soul, then we understand who we soul are. So the Supreme Personality Godhead is no beginning. That means what? No beginning means?
Anadi.
Anadir Adir Govinda Sarvakarana. Beginning means before creation he was there. An architect is there and the building is created. So can we say architect was born after the building? No, he was there before the building was created. So Krishna is there before the beginning of the creation and he has no beginning. That means he has no cause. Namo namaste akila karanaya nishkaranaya albudha karanaya. Namo namaste akila karanaya sarva karana karana. He is the cause of all cause. And nishkarana, Krishna doesn't have a cause. And then nishkaranaya albudha karana. Because of that, it's albudha karana. And why is the Narasimha called albudha shringa? I think we have explained this once. Every day we sing. Why is he called albudha shringa?
His nail is such a like a vajranaka, and he can cut the even
almost close.
Hiranyakashipu's stony heart.
As Mataji said, yes, the nails are so sharp it can cut any like a weapon. Along with that, something.
It's like a soft petal for a devotee.
A hand. What is that line? Tavakara kamala vare nakha albudha Tavakara kamala. So kara means hand. Tavakara, his hands are like lotus. Tavakara kamala, it's like kamala. And in that kamala, soft lotus, nagha, sharp nagha is there. So can the lotus have thorn? No, lotus doesn't have thorns. So how can this lotus like soft, pink, soft hand of Narasimha has such a sharp nails? And that is albudha shringa. So that is albudha. So that means like that Krishna is albudha karanaya. That means Krishna doesn't have a cause, but he is the cause of everything. So he is with no beginning. And he's transcendental to the material mode, Swami. He runs and comes with this Narasimha, okay? Okay. So here, he's self-effulgent. That means what? Natat bhashe de suryo, na shashango na pavaka, yat katvara nivartande taddhamam paramamara. So he's a Purusha. So this is personalist. So personalist, the Lord is particularly mentioned as Anadi, that is beginless. And if we examine, we can find everyone has a beginning. We all, even if we say time immemorial, we can trace it back. Because from the where it starts, but then Krishna doesn't have a beginning. And when we approach a person who has no beginning, that is the supreme person. And that is the definition given in the Brahma Samhita as Ishvara Parama Krishna. Parama, the supreme personality order. Krishna, the supreme controller. He is without beginning and he is the beginning of everyone. Aham Bija Pradapita. He is he's giving father. Now the same thing we are repeating every class. I was just reading the purport. I was like, it's the same thing. But then still we are not convinced. Now I went to an initiated house of a devotee, and every day altar, everything is set. But then above Krishna, they've kept all the Devi Devatas. And even my son noticed it and said, Amma, they are devotees, no? They have tilak and kantimala, but then they are keeping devatas above Krishna. So that means what? They're still not convinced that Krishna can take care of everything, or Krishna is Ham Adirhi Devanam. They're not convinced. They're not convinced. After initiation, we do that. It's not right, no? Because you are initiated in Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, where we are worshipping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna as the Supreme Lord, and practically we are not doing it, or we are not giving importance. That means what? Prabhupada, that's why Prabhupada, every page he's saying Krishna, the Supreme Personality Godhead. Krishna, the Supreme Personality Godhead. Ete chamsa kala pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. And Janmatyasya yata. He is the beginning. The entire material exhibition, creation, growth, maintenance, dissolution, everything is taken care of Krishna. And he is the beginning. He is the source of everything. Krishna says. Where does Krishna say this? He's the source of everything.
Aham sarvasya prabhavo.
10.6.
Sarvam.
Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravardhate.
So there he says, Aham sarvasya prabho matta sarvam. Everything he says, Aham sarvasya prabho, Aham bija pradapita, Aham adirhi devana, matta paradaram naniyat. Where else we want to give proof that Krishna is the Supreme Personality Godhead? And even then, after that, we have planned, oh, what if Krishna doesn't fulfill my desire? What if Krishna doesn't, what if he's not capable? I need Devi Devatas. So I need plan B, C, D. No. In Krishna also, okay, you want Devi Devatas, go with them. And Krishna will, what is it? Yandi Deva, Yada Deva, Pidriyandi Pidrivata. We go to heavenly planets. But that's what not Krishna wants. Doesn't mean we offend Devi Devatas and just ignore that. No, they are worshipable in the sense they are demigods, or in the sense they are also pure devotees of the Lord. We can ask Krishna Bhakti. But then when we do something practically, we should follow the instructions of the Acharyas. So Krishna is the cause of all cause, Ishvara Parama Krishna, because he's transcendental. What is Krishna's another name because he's transcendental or beyond the three modes?
Adokshaja.
Gunatita, Atokshaja. So he is above the three modes of material. He is in Sattvam Vishuddham, Vasudeva Shabditam. He is in that Vasudeva platform. And Brahmachoti is the effulgence that's coming from the Lord. And here it is said, Yasya Prabha Prabhavato Jagat Anda Koti. So much of, what is the comparison given with the millions of universes and our universe?
Mustard seeds.
Yeah. So mustard seed, in a bag of mustard seed, one mustard seed. Just imagine how small and insignificant we are. So the Brahmachoti, the Brahman effulgence, is Krishna's body luster that is given from Swayam Jyoti, or it's coming from Brahmanohi Pradishta Aham. It's coming from Krishna's body. It's self-illuminating. And Prabhupada explains there is no need of, the sun, moon, electricity in Vaikuntha or spiritual planets, because we know that spiritual planets or personal abode is self-effulgent, or the effulgence is coming from the Supreme Lord himself. And once there was Vrindavan Prabhu in our temple, and he was saying, why is the sky blue? Why is the sky blue? Why? Did I ask any weird question? Why is the sky blue?
Krishna's color complexion.
Yeah, it's the Krishna's complexion that's coming out. Actually, his Jayadu Meka Shama Komalango. He is the freshly formed monsoon cloud, which is like grayish. It's bluish black, actually, Krishna's color. But then that blue effulgence, why is it spreading here? That's because of Krishna's effulgence getting spread, it is said. And it's like so beautiful, the explanation given. So here, Krishna's is in the Goloka, he is in Goloka, but his influence or his energy can be everywhere. He's the super soul, yes, in our heart, as Sarvasacha Mridi Sanivishtam. He is in us, always with us, and he has innumerable transcendental qualities. When people say, when Mayavadi says he's Nirguna, yes, it's Nirguna in the sense he doesn't have any material qualities, because all his qualities are transcendental, above the three modes. And he's undoubtedly a person. He's a Purusha. Where is it said he's a Purusha in Bhagavad Gita?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Purusha Prakriti Yogi, Prakriti Gyan Gunan Karanam Guna Sankhya.
Where is Arjuna saying that?
Param Brahma Param Dhamma Shashvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Nirguna
Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adidevam. So he's a person, one without a second. He's a Purusha of the material world. But what does that Mayavadi say? Brahma Satya?
Jaganmithya.
The world is weird, or they say Krishna is Nirguda, Nirakar, all this because they are Krishna Parati, because they don't accept the form of the Lord. Yes, fourth sloka.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Sloka number 4. Sayesha prakritim sukshmam daivi gunamayi vibhuho yadrichye vopagata mabhya padyata lilaya. Hare Krishna.
As pastime, that Supreme Personality God, the greatest of the great, accepted the subtle material energy, which is invested with 3 material modes of nature, which is related to this. So first, Krishna has been explained, and now he is explaining what? The material energy, which is because that's also important, no? The 3 modes of material nature, which is carrying out the orders, the Devim. So it's a when Devim Prakritim Ashritam, the Devim is actually Krishna's energies that is there. And internal and external energy, also superior, interior energy, interior, inferior energy is also there. So the energy that is emanated from the Lord can be emanating from as the covering of the Lord's face. Or it's not just covering the Lord, it's covering us actually. Like, you know, the cloud, the example of cloud Prabhupada mentions. So cloud it does not just covering the sun, because sun can be seen somewhere else, but it's actually covering our perseverance, or in the sense, our vision. So similarly, it's not the Maya that is covering Naham Prakasha Sarvasya Yoga Maya Samavrita. It's not just the Lord getting covered. The conditioned soul are covered by the Maya. So that's why Kunti Maharani says, no, Maya Javani Gachan Namatna Dokshajam Avayam. Alakshase Mood Atrasha Nato Natyodarodaya. How Krishna, how the actor gets played different roles. So the material energy cannot cover the Lord. If it can cover the Lord, then what is this material energy called? It cannot cover the Lord. Maya cannot cover the Lord. It's covering us. But if it can cover the Lord, then
Yoga Maya.
The Yoga Maya, because Mahamaya cannot do that. It's Yoga Maya, and it's not covering the Lord, but it's Krishna's pastime that Krishna is putting Yashoda Maya into Yoga Maya, or Arjuna into Yoga Maya, different devotees into Yoga Maya. That's because Krishna wants to do that pastime in that particular way. So Krishna Surya Sama Maya Hoya Andakar Yaha Krishna Taha Nahi Maya Radhikar. So wherever there is Krishna, there's no Maya. In the sense, wherever there's sun, there's no darkness. So Krishna says, Prabhupada says about the cloud here, and the cloud is also formed by the sun, because sun evaporates the water, forms the cloud, and the cloud is also dissipated by the sun. So the Lord accepts the material energy. It's mainly for his pastime. Okay, just for his pastime purpose, he's doing it. Creation, maintenance, dissolution, and all that. But the conditioned soul is covered. And the moment we are covered by Maya, what happens to us?
You're in illusion.
Illusion.
Forget
Krishna.
Yeah. So, we forget Krishna. So then what happens? Krishna buliya, Jeev Bhogavanchakare, Pashatiya Mayatare, Japatiyatare. So Krishna buliya, forgetting Krishna, Jeev Bhogavanchakare. When we do sense gratification or forgetting Krishna, when we try to load it our material nature, then what happens? Maya will trap us. And once Maya trap us, she'll give samsara dukkha. She'll give all the threefold miseries. Yes, the fifth sloka.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Guner vichitraha srajatam sarupa prakritim praja vilokaya mamoke sadhya sa iha jnana guhya. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Divided into varieties by her threefold modes, material nature creates the forms of the living entities, and the living entities, seeing this, are illusioned by the knowledge covering feature of the illusionary energy. Hare Krishna.
So the threefold modes. So as we know, the 3 modes of material nature. So now, first Krishna's Kapaladev explained about whom? The Sankhya philosophy, that is the Supreme Lord himself. Now he's saying about the material nature. Because yes, then only the soul comes. Because Krishna sanctions, the material nature carries it out. And material nature is compared to whom?
Durga Devi.
She is Durga Devi, but that is Mahamaya, but it's compared to mother, and Krishna is the father. So Krishna is the seed-giving father, or he decides which soul has to get which body. But who is giving the body? The material nature.
But the nipples of the goat head, Krishna, Prabhupada gives the example. We cannot think material nature is independent. No, she's been guided by the Supreme Lord, under the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, she can't work. So Lord want to rectify the enjoyment temperament of the conditioned soul. We wanted to enjoy, and Krishna, we have come here. But then Krishna is doing all this Leela or pastime so that we get attracted to him. So the conditioned soul can be reclaimed back. And here it is said there is no necessity for the governing people to have a police department. But it's a fact that some citizens will not accept the state laws and they become criminals. So it's criminals who is forcing the government to have a department, police department. So similarly, there was no necessity of Krishna to create this material world. But conditioned souls like us, we forced Krishna. Okay, the Nitya Baddhas, that is eternally conditioned people, we are the one who forced Krishna to make this material world. And then what happened? We only went into that condition of Dukkhalaya Shashvata. So the modes of material nature actually belong to the material energy, and therefore the living entity under the three modes have different kind of material body. Karanam Guna Sangasya, yes, because we are associating with that particular body. And also, how is the body given by Karmana?
Karmana Daiva Netrena
coming under Krishna's instruction. Karmana Daiva Netrena, Deva, the Supreme Lord who is actually controlling it. And because we are forgetting our spiritual identity, what happens? We think we are this material body. And then what happens? We become conditioned. Or that's why we are called a conditioned soul. Okay, because we are conditioned by the three modes of material nature. But once we come to Krishna consciousness, we realize who we are. We realize, that's why during initiation we are given a spiritual name also, because that means the whole identity is changed. It's like a rebirth, Dvija. So everything is changed because of that initiation ceremony. That means what? Guru accepts and Guru becomes your father. So we cannot forget, no? Nobody forgets the father or a husband. So what happens? Krishna is the husband of all Madhajis and the spiritual master is the father. So you can never forget these two personalities in our life. Yes, sixth sloka.
Evam parabhidhyanena कृतृत्वं प्रकृते पुमान् कर्मसु क्रियमाणेषु गुणैर आत्मनि मन्यते.
So now he says, because of the forgetfulness of the conditioned soul, the trance living entity accepts the influence of material energy as his field of activity and thus activated. He wrongly applies the activities to himself. That means what? We do karma, punya and pap, all that will happen. So if we are not acting in Krishna consciousness means what? We are in material consciousness. Prabhupada says there are only two things. We are not serving Krishna, you are serving Maya, definitely. Whatever loophole we have, no, Maya will come and Maya knows what is the weak point of all of us, 84 lakh species, because she's Krishna's energy. And immediately she'll target on that particular weakness. So we have to pray to Krishna, it is said, that to keep us away from Maya, because she's very, very strong. So material consciousness means what? It is about material body or material things. So, but it has to be purified. Tat paratvena nirmala. It has to be purified. Then we become Krishna conscious or becomes liberated by accepting Krishna. Easy to say, but then as we go in Krishna consciousness, we really realize. No? So once it is said, one Brahmana went to a pond. It was very calm and peaceful. So immediately the Brahmana said, oh, this is how a devotee should be. Very calm and peaceful. Then he went to an ocean, and the ocean was getting merged to a river or something. And so there was a lot of waves and high tide. And he said, oh, this is how a neophyte devotee behaves, like agitated mind. So he was taking lessons from everything what he saw in nature. So that means what? We can realize ourselves by realizing the material nature. So material nature herself, everyone have experienced, you're feeling distress, you're feeling anxiety, some kind of a distress. You go for a long drive or you go to a material nature, see a beautiful waterfall or a sunset or a sunrise or a beach or nature. Will your consciousness change or will your mind become peaceful?
Yes, Mataji.
It seems to have that capacity because it's coming from Krishna. Prabhupada says anything beautiful, anything brilliant, anything amazing, it's all coming from Krishna. It's all Krishna's expansion. So material consciousness has to be purified because sometimes we want to eat some paneer or whatever it is, but we offer to the Lord and eat, it becomes purified, no? We are having prasadam. So nothing else. We have to accept Krishna as the master. So by changing the consciousness from material to Krishna consciousness, then what happens? Liberation happens. So Kapila Dev is saying, because he is also about to leave now, so Devahuti should not feel that attachment to the sun. So why now what is happening is, he is giving translated advice. So he spoke about super soul, he spoke about material nature, and in material nature again he is going to speak about pradhana, the 24 material elements and all that. Yes, 7th sloka.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Tadasya samskrutirbandhaha paratatram cha tatkrutham bhavatya bhavat karturishasya sakshino nivrutatmanaha. Hare Krishna Mataji.
So material consciousness is a cause of one's condition life, in which conditions are imposed upon the living entity by material energy. Although the spirit soul does not do anything and is transcendent to such activities, he is thus affected by the conditioned life. So what happens? Material consciousness is the cause of conditioned life, and he is affected by that conditioned life. So the spirit soul has to not do anything with that, because although we don't have to do, but we get affected. That is normal. No, when Arjuna was saying that I can't lament, means I am feeling morose because all of them have died. That's natural. We can't just laugh around when people die, because we have that attachment, but that affection. But attachment should not be there. Not like going into depression or something like that. You have to come out of it, because we know tada dehandara prapti. So if you're living entity, simply understand our constitutional position. What is it? To serve Krishna. Nityera Krishna Das. And then we try to act on that principle. However conditioned we are, we'll become, the Maya will immediately vanish, because she is there to serve Krishna. And she's, but why she's testing us? Why is Maya testing us?
To purify.
Okay, one is purification.
She wants to purify us. She wants us to understand that we have to undergo purification to go to Krishna. She wants us to go to Krishna, Mataji.
That's fine. Why is she testing?
To check how serious we are.
You want to see how sincere we are. Not like once what happened, her devotee was very, very seriously doing Krishna consciousness, very serious. And he had a stroke. Okay. 2 extreme cases I've seen. So this person had a stroke, and he was chanting 16 rounds. And when he had a stroke, everybody's like, oh, you started chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. See what happened to you? It's his karma coming. Krishna is speeding up his liberation process. But he is not able to, he knew everything. He had a lot of philosophy and everything. Chanting 16 rounds immediately came to 0. 0 means completely stopped. I was shocked. And he said, this is all, he started becoming so negative in Krishna consciousness. On the other hand, there was another doctor. He was also fully serving. He had a stroke, and he also is recovering phase, but he became more serious. He said, till now I was running and running and running, but now Krishna made me sit in one place or lie down in one place so that I can read so much of Shastras. I can do a lot of chanting, a lot of Shravanam Kirtanam. And he took it as special mercy of Krishna, and he advanced like anything. So see, sometimes we see Maya is testing us or karma is coming back, but sometimes it depends on how we take it. It's Krishna's blessing, everything what happens in life. So one has to be serious to cure this condition of material existence and transfer himself to Krishna consciousness. Why? For this long suffering may be mitigated without difficulty. It's Krishna's special mercy which is coming. So the suffering of the conditioned soul is mainly because of the attachment to material nature. The attachment should be transferred from matter to Krishna. So this is what, when something comes in our life, when there is difficulty, we think, why Krishna is doing this? I'm doing a lot of chanting, I'm doing a lot of Krishna consciousness things, because it's all our karma coming back, and it's because of our attachment to material nature. Many of our problems are because of this. Once we become detached, then it is said now when you're in a flight and the flight is taking off, then as you go up, all the big skyscraper buildings looks like matchboxes, very small. Similarly, when you're in the flight of Krishna consciousness, all the big problems becomes very minute. But for that, we need realization. Yes, 8th sloka. Karyakaranakartritve. Fast.
Karyakaranakartritve karanam prakritim viduho Bhoktrutve sukha dukkhanam purusham prakrutehe param.
Yes. So the cause of conditioned soul's material body and the senses presiding deities, the demigods, is the material nature. This is understood by learned men. The feeling of happiness and distress of the soul, who is transcendental by nature, are caused by the spirit soul himself. Why happiness and distress? Happiness is because of a good karma. Distress is because of bad karma that's coming to us. What does a super soul has to do with this? So he is a witness. Upadesha and Manta. So here the living entity is the cause of his own suffering, but he can also be the cause of his eternal happiness. How can we be the cause of eternal happiness?
By changing our consciousness to Krishna consciousness.
Krishna consciousness. When you are engaged, when you engage in Krishna consciousness, what happens? Everything is yasmin tushtam jagat tushti. Like you water the root of the tree, yadatarur mula nishejanena. When you water the root of the tree, the whole tree becomes nourished. So similarly, you become that Atma Suprasiddhi. You get that peace and happiness when you are in Krishna consciousness, because you are actually serving the Supreme Lord, the root of everything. Who was the teacher who was actually started teaching the students, saying that Krishna is the root of everything?
Prahlad Maharaj Mataji.
Prahlad Maharaj.
No, basically the root. Prahlad said many things. The root of grammar and Nyaya philosophy, who was that?
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was Nimai Pandit, and when he went to Gaya for his father's final rites, he met Ishwara Puri. He got the mantra. When he came back, he was the grammar teacher. But then he said, everything starts from Krishna. He said, everything, the root is Krishna. His whole philosophy started changing.
Mataji, you're muted.
No.
No, Mataji.
Okay.
No, voice is clear, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, audible, Mataji.
So it's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who was Nimai Pandit. He is the one. No, when till now he was teaching grammar, Nyaya philosophy. But the moment he went to Ishwara Puri and he came back from Gaya, he started changing everything to Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. He said Krishna is the root of everything. Krishna. And then everybody's like, what happened to him when he went to Gaya? And he said to his guru, no, Kipa mantra diya, japita huya pagal. What mantra you have given? I'm becoming mad, crazy after chanting the mantra. Okay, 9th sloka. Devahuti Ruvacha.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dehotirvacha prakriti purushasyami lakshanam purushottamam bruhi karanayorasya sadacha yadatatmakam. Hare Mataji, thank you very much.
Devahuti is saying that, oh, the Supreme Personality Godhead, kindly explain the characteristics of the Supreme Person, his energy. So both of these are the cause of this manifest and unmanifest creation. See, she is the mother and she is calling her son, oh, Supreme Personality Godhead. See, so that's the Tadvidi Pranipatena Pari Prashnena Seva. She's become a disciple now. So here she's explaining, she's asking to tell more about Krishna's energies, that is Prakriti or material nature. So Prabhupada gives a nice explanation here, and Prabhupada says, Krishna glances, the Supreme Lord glances the material energy and she becomes impregnated and everything is born. That's why she is considered the mother and Krishna is the Supreme, the father. So as we know, the father has the soul, or the semen. The semen has the soul and he deposits it to the mother, because that's where the place the baby can grow, the womb. So there it meets the ovum and then the fertilization happens, as we know. So here, the Lord has, the creation doesn't happen just like that. But Krishna can glance, Krishna can breathe, or Krishna can, from his pose itself, can happen, the creation. So because he is the Supreme Personality Godhead. And here it says, under his will, Sambhavami Atmamaya. Atmamaya means by his own sweet will, everything happens. So if Krishna wants to have, let there be creation, creation can happen. Like Srila Prabhupada, when he went through the streets of New York and all, he said, let there be a temple. And then the temple came, because a pure devotee, like the Supreme Lord, means the Acharya. Krishna says he's Acharya himself. So the pure devotees, whatever he says also comes true. The relationship of the living entity with matter and that of the Supreme Lord with matter are certainly not on the same level, although Mayavadis may interpret it that way. Because we have this matter, that is our body made up of 5 material elements and everything. Krishna's relation with matter is Bhumi Rapona Lovai, all Krishna's supreme energy. So the difference between the conditioned soul and the Lord is that the Lord is the Lord, the master of material nature, and we are controlled by the material nature. So Krishna is controlling the material nature. He is controlled neither by spiritual nature nor by material nature. He's the supreme controller himself. Bhoktara Metyatabasam Sarvaloka Maheshwara. And he cannot be compared to ordinary living entities who are controlled by the material nature. Sometimes what happens when we say Krishna lifted over the hill at the age of 7. 7? And we think 7 years old in our in community, and we say, a 7-year-old, what can he lift from the left hand finger? We drag Krishna to our level. When we learn about Rasalila, we drag Krishna to our material lusty level. No, because Supreme Lord cannot be compared, it said, because he is the controller. He is controller and we are controlled by the material nature. Sat and Asat. So analogy given is the father and mother, as we know that yes, father and mother both are required to beget the children. But Krishna, he created Brahma as Swayambhu without the help of Lakshmi Devi. So Krishna is like that. Sometimes he manifests and not manifests. Material nature is ever existing. Lord is the supreme cause for both subtle and gross manifestation of the material world. So the Lord is the one who is actually the seed-giving father. Okay, material nature looks like independent. No, she is the one who's giving. No, she is being governed by the Lord. Devi or Krishna is the one who is actually controlling her, and she is just a puppet in Krishna's hand. In the sense, we are also conditioned soul. We are puppet in the remotes of material nature. Okay. Mataji, please check your audio. Might be she's.
Yes, Mataji.
You're fine. Okay.
Yes. Shri Bhagavanu Bacha Yatta Triguna Bhakyaktam Nityam Sat Asat Atmakam Pradhanam Prakritim Prabhu Avishesham Visheshavad.
Translation: the Supreme Personality God said the unmanifested eternal combination of the three modes is the cause of the manifest state. It's called Pradhana. It's called Prakriti when it's manifested stage of existence. So there are two things. First, you should know that there are 24 elements, the Mahatattva, along plus 1. There's one more that Kala, that time, it becomes 25. And there is Pradhana, which is the unmanifested. Okay, we'll know more about Pradhana, what it is. So here Prabhupada explains that when the total material elements are manifested by the three modes, the manifestation is called Prakriti, and the unmanifested, that is actual expansion, is unmanifested or Avyakta, which is not manifested, that the reaction of the total material elements, that is called Pradhana. So Pradhana, it means, just understand, it's the unmanifested form of material nature, and the manifested. So we'll come to know in the next sloka. Prabhupada explains what Pradhana is. We'll come to that. Yes. Can someone chant?
Panchabi panchabhirbrahman chaturbhirdashabhistata etacchaturvimshatikam ganam prardhanikam vidu.
Yeah, so here you can see what is Pradhana. So the aggregate elements, that is the 5 gross elements, 5 subtle elements, the 4 internal senses, the 5 senses for gathering knowledge, and the 5 outward organs of action is called Pradhana. So this is Pradhana. What is the Pradhana? So here, you know, the Mahat Tattva, it has 24 elements. And in the 24 elements here, the sum total of 24 elements is called Pradhana. So which includes what? 5 gross elements, 5 subtle elements, 4 internal senses, 5 senses of gathering knowledge, and 5 outward organs of action is called as Pradhana. It's a beautiful picture I'll share later, that which shows all this. Okay, the
24. What is 4 internal senses?
The internal senses of taste, touch, smell, like that. So
they are
that
5, no, Mataji?
No, that touch will come in the subtle also. I mean, gathering knowledge also. Here,
Okay.
5 will come here.
Yes, Mataji.
So the 5 outward organs, and this is called Pradhana. So sum total of 24 elements. So here we think it's 24, but as we go down, Krishna explains that there is one more element which is called, yes, super soul is also there or not in this material nature.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, super soul is also
Yes.
included. Okay, the time factor is also there, and the super soul is also included. Yes, the 12th sloka, we'll see that later.
Mahabhutani panchaiva Dhru apo agnir marun nabha tanmatrena cha tavanti gandhani manati me
So here it is said the 5 gross elements, that is, yes, Bhumi, Rapo, Nalo, Vayu, that is earth, water, fire, air, ether. And 5 subtle elements, smell, taste, color, touch, sound. So here, which part of our body is earthly?
The whole body.
Bones
And
Bones is earthly. Water,
Blood,
blood,
saliva, fire,
Balls.
digestive fibers.
air,
Air is whatever we breathe.
oxygen comes.
Pranavayu out the
Breathing.
body.
Pranavayu, Samanavayu, Udanavayu, Dashavayu.
Ether,
Pran air, Mataji, life air. Breathing.
Ether is the space between the
Space in the body,
space.
Mataji.
It's a space, a vacuum space between, you can see the pericardial space or pleural space that is around the lungs, around the heart, there is a space. And what will be in that space? Something should be there now.
It is giving structure to body.
Yeah, what is
Air,
there?
air.
Vacuum, Mataji.
No air. Air is different. If air
Vacuum.
is there in the peri-pleural space, then what is it called? Some doctors here is pleural effusion and pneumothorax.
Yes.
Pneumothorax, there's a death for the patient. So there should not be anything in that space. Even pericardial, it's giving structure to this organ. It helps to expand and give space to them. But there's nothing there. It's completely vacuum. And sometimes people think, is there something like that actually in our body? Yes, there is something like that. But then if there is fluid or air in that space, then it becomes a disease condition. So nothing should be there in that ether. Okay. Then rest, the subtle elements, what is there in our body. Yes. The next sloka.
Indriyani dashashrotram tvagdrug rasananasikaha vakarau charanau medram payurdashama uchyate. Thank you, Mataji.
Here it says the senses for acquiring knowledge, the organs for action, number 10, namely the auditory sense, the sense of taste, tactile sense, sense of sight, sense of smell, activating organ for speaking, activating organ for working, those are traveling, generating, and evacuation. That is all that comes under the active organs. Okay. Yes. Mano, Buddhir, Ahangara. Next subtle elements.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandal
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Mano buddhir ahankaras chittam iti antar atmakam chaturdha lakshe vedo vritya lakshana rupaya.
Thank you. At least one Prabhu came up. All like Mataji is dominating and Prabhus are so silent and minority in the class. But they should also become active. The internal subtle senses are experienced as having 4 aspects: the mind, intelligence, ego, contaminated consciousness. Distinction between them can be made only by different functions since they represent different characteristics. So here Prabhupada mentions that when pure consciousness is polluted by material consciousness, then what becomes? We become in a bodily concept. Then we will be in false ego. Where is this actually false ego situated?
Trigunas?
No. Chitta.
Yeah. So that means in the mind. When it say the mind, intelligence, and false ego. But the true ego should be?
I am the servant of Krishna.
We are the servant of the Lord, or we are devotees, or in the sense we are trying to serve the Lord. That's true ego. So consciousness is a function of the soul, and therefore behind the consciousness there is soul. So what is it? The soul can illuminate the whole body. Like the light, one moon is enough to illuminate the whole sky. Similarly, the consciousness is one which is illuminating the whole, the soul. So that means, where is consciousness then?
In our whole body.
Throughout the whole body.
That means what? The whole body should become Krishna conscious. Savai mana Krishna padara vindayo varcham vaikunta gunanavarnam. Everything, all the part like Ambarish Maharaj did, everything, because the whole consciousness should be Krishna consciousness. Everything, all my body parts should be used in Krishna service. That should be the thought of a real ego of a devotee, of a person. Yes, 15th sloka.
Hare Krishna. Etavani iva sankhyato brahmanasa gunasyaha saniveso maya prokto ya kalaha panchvisankaha.
Okay. So all these are considered as qualified Brahman, the mixing elements. Time is the 25th element. So this is what I said. So we might say that is the Mahat Tattva 24, but there is time also, which is called, what is this time actually?
Kali?
Kala.
Kali.
Krishna only. Krishna says Kalosmi. It's Krishna only. So Parasya Brahmana Shakti. That means everything is expansion or energy of the Supreme Lord. And sometimes what happens? Sometimes this Brahman, when you say Brahman or soul, it indicates whom? Or when you say spirit soul, it's not just Atma, means it's not just the soul. Atma also means? It's not just the soul.
Mind also, Mataji.
Mind, yes, Atma
Body
also
also.
means mind. Also,
Body.
Including Sukshma Sharir, Mataji.
and one more.
Mind, body.
Soul, Mataji.
Senses?
Jiva.
Is it senses, Mataji?
Modes of material.
No, the super soul also is called sometimes soul. Like for example, Bhagavan, it's for actually Krishna, Sri Bhagavan Vivajan. But sometimes who else is called as Bhagavan?
Lord Brahma.
They're also called as.
Brahma,
Similarly,
Narada.
Brahman.
Devotees of the
Brahman
Lord.
doesn't mean just the soul. It may also mean the Param Brahman also. Sometimes the verses are, the terms are used interchanged. So Saguna Brahman, Nirguna Brahman, there are two types. Saguna Brahman is described as a Sankhya system philosophy as considering the 25 elements, including the time factor. And Nirguna Brahman means what? No material. In Nirguna Brahman, there is no material contamination. Or in the spiritual world, the three modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, are not present. Why is these modes not present in the spiritual world? The three modes.
Because Mahamaya is not present, Yogamaya is present.
Okay. Still,
External
Yogamaya is
energy.
there, no?
They are characteristics of the material world only.
Yes, very good. They are in the material world, they are not in the spiritual world. So what is in the spiritual world then?
Shuddha Sattva.
Shuddha Sattva, no? It's Shuddha Sattva, pure goodness. So that means three modes of material nature, even Sattva Gun. You know, we were thinking like, oh, at least we
Even Sattva Gun is. Yeah.
not even, because Sattva also binds us with two things. What are they?
Happiness and knowledge.
Happiness and knowledge.
Jnana and happiness.
Happiness. Yes, knowledge and happiness will bind. So Sattva also is binding. That means what? We should go above Sattva. That is, we should the Sattva. And how is that possible? See, when you chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna Mahamantra is Golokeva Nivishati. No, sorry. Golokera Premadan. Golokera Premadan. It's coming from Goloka. And can it be material? No, it's transcendental. So when you keep associating with that person, or like the iron rod kept in the fire, it becomes red, no? It behaves like fire. So similarly, you keep associating with Krishna, Krishna's holy name and pastimes and like literatures. Then what happens? We also become spiritualized. And sometimes it is said like long back, when devotee was saying, Prabhupada went into Samadhi and he was taken in a palanquin for the last darshan. So when he was brought to Krishna Balram temple, Radha Shyam Sundar and all that, and in the palanquin, because since he is so weak and the soul had already left, they were tying Prabhupada to sit in the palanquin. So it was the last darshan. Pujari was doing arati, and the moment Pujari turned to see the devotees, he saw Prabhupada with the final things, and then immediately he collapsed there. He was so attached to Prabhupada. He could not believe the Prabhupada left. Because Prabhupada's pastimes are over, he has to go now. So Krishna called and he went. And then when he was about to put into the Samadhi there in Vrindavan, it's been few hours because they have to keep for darshan, Gaudiya people has to come. So many things were happening. And then what happened? They were touching Prabhupada to keep him inside. But when they touched the legs, because normally, as you know, rigor mortis will send, all the blood circulation stops and the whole body becomes cold and stiff. It was very warm. You know, the warmth is, why is warmth in the body? You know, because of the blood circulation happening. But the warmth itself remained with Srila Prabhupada's body. That means devotees were shocked because it was like somebody who's living, in the sense, the whole body became spiritualized. The whole body become, why? Because he's been continuous 24 hours, even at the last moment when somebody asked Prabhupada, do you have any desire? What did he say? He said, I don't have any desire. Kuch asha.
Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma.
He was in transcendental stage and he was translating Srimad Bhagavatam. We can't even, you know, at that stage, I don't know how we are going through some disease itself. We are like completely collapsed and we can't do anything. But just imagine that stage of death and how his consciousness was. Definitely, he's not from this material world. But still, he's showing the right example, Yat Yadachariti station of leaving the body. And this was Prabhupada. And this This is, and also when Aindradas Prabhu left his body, he was doing prostitution, or he was completely doing Dandavat pranams to his Gaurnitai deities. And his hand was around the Gaurnitai's feet, and it was already set in Rigadi. He couldn't even separate that hand, and he was just imagine, he was paying obeisances to the Supreme Lord in Vrindavan Dham, I don't know which month it was, but he was in Vrindavan Dham. It happened in just above Krishna Balram temple in his room. So pure devotees, when they leave the body, it's spiritual already, the body. That's why they get kept into samadhi. It's not just destroyed, because the whole body itself is spiritual. Yes, 16th sloka.
Prabhavam Purusham Prahu Kala Meke Yado Bhayam Angara Vimudasya Kartu Prakriti Miyusha.
Hare Krishna. So the influence of the Supreme Personality Godhead is felt in time factor, which causes fear of death due to the false ego of deluded soul who have contacted the material nature. So influence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is felt in the time factor. Sometimes we say, no, we don't have time to do that, do this. Krishna is time, actually. Krishna can expand or pull the time for a devotee. And all of us have 24 hours, but it's how they use that time. It's called what? Your devotees using time is called?
Avyartha
Kalatvam.
At the stage in Bhava, when you have like Namas, Gana, Sataruchi, Preeti, Sattva, Sadistale, all this is because of they are in Bhava stage, already in Bhava stage. And Avyartha Kalatvam, as people were saying how his praise Radhisham Prabhu, when we are standing in a queue in a check-in place or the venue in a airport or wherever it is, in a queue, what do? Sometimes devotees, especially in Guruvayur temple, you have to at least wait. Even if you go take VIP darshan or special darshan, still at least minimum 2 hours, 3 hours. And devotees will keep chanting, finish 16 rounds, more than that, and then enter. They influence others also around them and chant. And that's what devotees do. And here he was, because he's a great preacher, he was with his laptop and it was like a big queue, but he was making PowerPoint presentation for his class. And devotees were like amazed to see Prabhu, how Prabhu was, even that particular time, at least it might be a few minutes or not more than half an hour, but at least even that time, devotees don't want to lose or miss that time. I'm talking about pure devotees. And when I went to one house, it was a very nice devotee, and she was having a lot of slokas in her house and hanging. I was like, very nice, Mataji. She's like, I can remember slokas. When I go to this room, I remember this sloka, this sloka. So the slokas are all pasted and all, so that they can remember as Bhagavatam slokas and all. And in one particular place I saw that Mataji, in a big block letters, she have written that don't kill time, otherwise time will kill you. And that was like block letters, and it was always running in my mind. Yes, we are trying to kill time. Sometimes they say, they say time pass kar rahe. We have to kill the time sometime. Recently we were traveling. Everyone in the flight, everyone in the train, everyone had mobile. When small kids, everyone were inside. They're killing time. That can be used in Krishna conscious way also. But then this time factor, actually, it's Krishna. When Krishna sees that we are using it in Krishna consciousness, Krishna expands the time for us. So there is no death for the spirit soul, but due to our absorption in identifying the body as self, the fear of death develops. Now, a pure devotee it doesn't matter where he leaves the body, and he knows that dying means what? Sometimes devotees were asking, that disappearance also you are celebrating. Why? Disappearance means morose, no? Why you have to celebrate disappearance? No, because they are going back to Godhead. They're going back to Godhead, no? What disappearance of an acharya also means. So matter is secondary manifestation of spirit. From matter, for matter is produced from the spirit. Just as the material elements described are caused by the Supreme Lord and Supreme Spirit, the body is also a product of the spirit soul. Therefore, the material body is Dvitiya, or it's secondary, or second. So as we know, Bhumir Apo Nalo Vayu. So the soul is there, the soul is ready. What is the example given? Analogy, that the soul takes one body, leaves it, takes another body, leaves it, doesn't get attached. In Bhagavad Gita analogy.
The clothes, how we change clothes.
Yeah, no, the attachment. Clothes, okay, but clothes is just trying to change one body to another. No attachment. The soul takes one body, leaves it. Smell, odor coming from different places. So the smell, the air
Aroma.
air carrying
Yeah,
aroma.
coming.
Air doesn't have aroma, but then when it comes from a garden, it smells so nice. When it comes from a waste area, it smells bad. But is it attached? No. Then the air becomes without aroma. There is no smell. So similarly, the soul takes one body, leaves it. Takes another body, leaves it. And this is transmigration, and it's not getting it attached. So if the spirit soul is engaged in spiritual activities of devotional service, he's completely freed from the platform of birth and death. His next position is completely spiritual freedom from the material body. Sometimes it is said that the senses, all of them, they are called as, what is the senses compared to? Snake is fine. There's one more comparison. Compared to especially the tongue. Compared to a prostitute.
Yeah.
Why? Because a prostitute serves so many people, and that lady is not chaste, or it's not sincere to one person. A chaste wife is sincere to only one person. But so the tongue is like a prostitute, or the senses are like prostitute, means it's not serving Krishna, it's serving someone else. Like a prostitute is serving so many people. Similarly, the senses are serving so many other Maya things that it's not serving the right person who's the Supreme Lord. So that's why it is compared like that. It's a very weird comparison, but that's a true comparison. Why? Because we have, like, for an example, the government employee. Sometimes I've seen they have these board, okay, like deputy commissioner, something, and that is covered with a black cover or something. And the whole family is in the car and they're going for a trip and all. Actually, the car is given by the government for official use. They're supposed to go to the office or for some field visit or whatever, inspection and all. But it's used to drop the kids going to a party and all that. That is actually not recommended. It's not be used. So, but then similarly, the tongue and all the senses are given to serve Krishna. But we are not serving Krishna. We are serving someone else or Maya and our body. Then what happens? That's also illegal. So it is said that time is representing Krishna. Or if we surrender to Krishna and remember that we have to serve the Lord, then we become free from birth and death. So somebody asked Prabhupada, can you, there was a magician and he was making so many things disappear. There was a big black cap, and then he was putting a rabbit and making it disappear, putting watch and making it disappear, so many things. Prabhupada liked the magic. When you go to Western countries, you see in the street also, they'll be doing all this magic for some money and all. So Prabhupada enjoyed it. And Prabhupada went and asked that person, can you make something disappear? Then he said, yes. He was very proud of his whatever magic power he has. So then he said, yes. And Prabhupada said, can you disappear? Can you make birth and death disappear? And that person was like, what? Birth and death disappear? And Prabhupada said, I can do it. And everyone was like, Jai Prabhupada. Why he can do it? By giving spiritual knowledge. Because Janma Karma Munjame Divyam, like Tekta Deham Punarjanma Naidi. There is no Punarjanma if you take to Krishna consciousness and if you become 100%. But not 100%, Prabhupada also gave some concession saying that you follow what Prabhupada said. And many devotees, many Prabhupada disciples were saying to me that just follow Prabhupada. Just follow Prabhupada, because that's the right track. We'll go back. Not in this life, whatever, whenever Krishna wants. But then whenever our consciousness becomes pure and all our karma is over, then Krishna takes us back. Okay, next sloka. 3 more slokas to go.
Prakrtir guna samasyasya nirvisheshasya manavi chetayat sa bhagavan kalaiti upalakshyate.
So, my dear mother, as Kapila was saying, O daughter of Swayambhuva Manu, the time factor, as I explained, is the Supreme Personality Godhead. So, time is Krishna himself, from whom creation begins as a result of agitation of the neutral and unmanifested nature. So, creation, because as we know, how is creation happening? Conditioned soul post the Lord to make do the creation. So the Supreme Personality God is the cause of the products of material nature. Without this contact, material nature cannot produce anything. So this is the analogy I said. Now all these analogies should be there just on your fingertips. Sometimes when I give exam for Bhakti Shastri students, I give analogies only. Because these analogies, if you remember, you can get the concept very clearly. And Prabhupada has given amazing analogies which you can never forget. Nipples of a goat's head. No, it looks like nipples, but then milk will not come from it. Similarly, material nature looks very independent. Oh, she's the one who's creating and everything producing. But who's impregnating her? Unless it is impregnated by the Supreme Personality God in form of time factor, she cannot produce children. As a woman cannot produce children unless impregnated by a man. So similarly, nowadays artificial insemination is all there. But still, there should be somebody who injects the semen, or in the sense, there should be somebody who deposits the soul, and that is done by Krishna. Krishna decides which soul has to, let's say when we are doing Krishna consciousness, what is our next body? Okay, so most of you will get liberated, go back to 100. But what is most of others' fate? Or what is it going to be the next life?
We're going to become a devotee.
Yeah, Shuchinam Srimadam Gehe. Like, yes, definitely. Wherever we stopped, we're going to start from there. No? So we have hope. Yeah, and because when you start Krishna consciousness, every detail, every service we do, we think that, oh, Krishna didn't see that, also nobody saw it. We do some service and we go and tell others, then the service doesn't have much effect. It is said we should just, it is between you and Krishna. We try to make somebody devotee, we try our best, but rest is between them and Krishna. So we try our best. Guru na sasya, Swajana sasya. So we try our best to make them Krishna conscious. And then Krishna sees the effort. No? And every step what we do. So next is Shruchinam Srimadam Gehe, definitely. So it's not a loss. So sometimes we think, oh, I'm doing fast track, Bhakti Vaibhava, I'm doing that, this, so difficult. Now there's one devotee who keeps coming to a temple regularly. Once started fast track, disappeared only. Disappeared means only once in a while comes and goes. Because fast track, no, exam is there, that is there, this is there. So what is the real aim of Bhakti Vaibhava or Bhakti Shastri, all that? To serve Krishna, to understand more about the Supreme Lord and get attached to him or preach and all that. So we should not forget the goal, the main goal of our real preaching. And then when we do that, what happens? It's still a blessing only, because it's never a loss. We should not feel, oh, I wasted all my time by doing this. No, definitely next life, it's going to help us. Sometimes we feel, no, some slokas, it just comes immediately. But some slokas, how much ever we try, it doesn't enter. It takes a lot of time to learn, because that we are learning in this life. And some slokas we already have done in previous life. Those who are, we are all coming to Krishna consciousness, we are all some are initiated, some are doing, all are doing 16 rounds. That means what? In previous life, what they were devotees. How many lives we were devotees?
5 to 6 lives?
6 lives, yeah. It says 6 lives, at least, minimum. 6 lives to reach the 16 rounds. So that's why now some devotees, immediately after 18 days course, they chant 16 rounds. I was amazed, right? Yeah, it took 6 months actually. 6 months, it was so slow process. Those days, it was not like Zoom and all, nothing was there before Corona, before so many 8 years back. So it was just some center, some Namahata. Every Sunday we go, we have a lot of fun with chanting and dancing and all that. So Japa was just secondary. Nobody, because they know if they say 16 rounds, all will run away. So initially it was just prasadam and festival and feasting and dancing and all. But slowly, 4 rounds, 6 rounds, 8 rounds. It took 6 months to reach 16 rounds. It's like, oh, I was not serious. And then as I read Prabhupada books, it became seriousness came. But then now, because of the online preaching and the Zoom and everything, it's been fast now. And why? Because I would have done a lot of sin in previous life, and it's been to come over all that sinful reactions, it took time, karma, and it would be a slow process. But some have done it in previous life, and it's very easy for them. Some devotees take second initiation also very easily. I was like shocked, so amazed, because their journey was so smooth. Some people have to wait for 10, 15 years to get first initiated only. So it all depends on what we did in our previous life. Okay, 18th sloka.
Anta purusha rupena kala rupena yobahi samanveti esha svanam bhagavan atma mayaya.
Atma mayaya. See, Atma maya means by his own potency Krishna comes. So by exhibiting his potency, the Supreme Personality adjusts all these different elements, keeping himself within as a super soul and without as time. So he has both As super soul, he is within us, and as without as time factor. So within the heart, the Supreme Lord is the super soul. And Bhagavad Gita also says about the Supreme Lord as Upadrishta and Anumanta, the Purusha or Paramatma who resides within the body. That is the witness, no? He just witnessed the two birds in the tree. So as we know, the one is just eating the fruit, doing a lot of karma. That is the Atma, the soul, and the Paramatma who is the witness. So conditioned soul is in the material world, and they try to overcome this material nature. But how? Because we are also Bhokta. We think we are the master, but we are not. Since the living entity is constitutionally the part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, the Lord is very affectionate. And unfortunately, when the living entity is bewildered and illusioned by external energy, what happens? We forget our eternal relationship with Krishna. But as soon as we become aware of his constitutional position, we become liberated. When is that happening? How will this happen? As soon as we become aware. How does this happen?
When we join Krishna consciousness.
That means
by mercy of Guru.
By mercy of Guru and your Shiksha Gurus or spiritual masters and Vaishnavas. Yes, by their mercy. Mahat Kripa and Satam Kripa and Mahat Seva. Yes. Satam Kripa and Mahat Seva Shraddha comes. So that means as soon as we become aware, means what? All of us would have had some Shiksha Guru or somebody who actually showed us the path to Krishna consciousness, someone. And as soon as we become aware, then what happens? Our constitutional position, we become liberated. So 1 minute, Prabhupada says now how much time it will take to surrender? Just 1 moment, 1 minute. So according to the Samkhya system of philosophy, there are 25 elements, but the 24th or 25, the 24 elements plus the time factor becomes 25. Okay, so that's how they say, but sometimes they say the super soul is also included and they become 26. But definitely, because without super soul, the material nature is not complete. It will become half. It's not complete, or she's already dependent on the super soul. So unless super soul is, because unless you get the soul, sometimes the IVF fail. Why? Because there is no soul in it. There is no some kind of fertilization happening, but there is no soul. The pregnancy will not grow. It will not happen. So why? Because the soul, the Lord has to deposit. No, there's a time. It's not like you force the soul to come and take birth according to karma and everything. Many devotees doesn't have children, and sometimes Prabhupada says that's because, yes, it's because of karma. But then Krishna is especially blessing them so that they can be completely 24 hours involved in Krishna service. Nice, no? Taking care of a child, making him grow, it takes a lot of your energy, many others know. But then when you don't have, according to our karma, because as we know that Harsha Shokan was born to whom? Harsha Shokan. Chitraketu Maharaj. It was not in his fate. It was not in his destiny, or it was not, he forced that to happen. And then the transcendental knowledge came, but Narad Muni. But then that child just came for few years and then disappeared, and then the whole thing, he became Ritrasura. That's fine. But then if we force the things to happen, then what happens? We have to face the consequence. But otherwise, if we take it as special mercy of Krishna to become 24 hours involved in Krishna consciousness, that's a nice thing, no? Which devotees can do. Yes. Last two slokas. 19th sloka. Someone chant.
Daivatyam swasyam yonau parapuman adattaviryam sasuta mahattattvam hiranmayam.
Mahattattvam, the sum total of cosmic intelligence. So after the Supreme Personal Godhead impregnates the material nature with its internal potency, the material nature delivers the sum total of cosmic intelligence, which is called as Hiranmaya. This takes place in material nature when she's agitated by the destinations of the conditioned soul. See, when we know the destination, what is that soul? So that's why I asked, what are we going to be in the next life? We definitely going to be born in a Vaishnava family or Brahmana family, so that we can continue from where we stopped, from day one of our conception, from the time, because we are taking birth in a Vaishnava family means what? From the day of conception itself, the mother is chanting the Hare Krishna. The soul inside the womb can hear. She's taking Krishna Prasadam. She's getting devotee association. She's hearing Krishna Katha. So from the womb itself, the child can learn. So here the destination of based on the karma, based on the guna, everything Krishna decides where the soul has to go. And that's why it is said, Nowadays, the sannyasis, we see great sannyasis, we see great brahmacharis. Who are they? Where are they coming from? They are coming from grihasthas only, no? Only grihasthas. Brahmacharis, vanaprastha and sannyasis, they cannot have children. Only grihasthas are given that special consideration. Why? Because dharma aviruddha kamosmi, and it's Krishna conscious children. No? So for them, the Vaishnava, we are giving a chance to the particular soul, any soul, to continue the journey to Krishna consciousness. It's a great thing which grihasthas are do. So that's why when Matajis are getting married, they should definitely marry a devotee. So that what happens, they, whatever in the future also, whatever it's happening in their life, it's all Krishna conscious. Because I've seen many of my friends who completely lost Krishna consciousness by marrying karmis. Very, very difficult, no? Very difficult. And so it's not easy. So that's why initially only should be very careful. So material nature is the mother and the Supreme Personality Godhead is the seed-giving father. So material nature is called as our mother because she is the one who's giving the body. Like the material mother which we have, she also made, from her body itself, our body was created. So similarly, material nature is the one who actually gave the body, and the Supreme Personality Godhead, Aham Bija Pratapita, Sarva Yunishu Kaunteya, he says now, every living entity, not only human beings. So generally, the father gives life to the child, but the mother gives the body. Although the seed of the life is given by the father, the body develops in the womb of the mother. Even after IVF fertilization, the embryo is transplanted or it's kept in mother's womb to grow. So because that's the place where the child can get nourished. And the spiritual living entities are impregnated into the womb of the material nature. But the body is supplied by material nature. So who's actually the creator? Body is given by mother and the soul is supplied by the Lord.
The Lord is the creator.
The Lord himself, because unless the soul is there, the body cannot grow. Now, sometimes they say, no, when they come for miscarriage or abortion, they say only after 20 weeks the soul is there, so we can do abortion. No, from day one of concept, how is the body of that growing then? How is this the mitosis, meiosis, everything happens unless there is a soul in that, the growth doesn't happen. So the life force, the living force is coming from the Lord. So he is our real father. He can actually create himself. He didn't need a material nature to do creation, but Krishna is giving service to the material nature so that she can produce. So no material scientific advancement can produce life. Prabhupada says, you give anything to them in a scientist laboratory, they cannot create life. They might do advancement in so many things, but the soul factor is very important, and that comes from the Supreme Lord. Okay, last sloka for today.
Vishwam Atmagatam. Yes, Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, go on.
Vishwam Atmagatam Vyanjan Kutasto Jagadanuk Ankuraha Swatejasa Pibativram Atma Prasava Prasvapanam Tamaha.
So here it said, thus, after manifesting variedness, the effulgent Mahatattva, which contains all the universes within itself, which is the root of all cosmic manifestation, which is not destroyed at the time of annihilation, swallows the darkness that covered the effulgence at the time of dissolution. So here it can, so what is this speaking about? Swallows the darkness. What does this mean?
Death, Mataji, death.
Death or dissolution. It's about the pralaya, or it's about total and partial dissolution it's speaking. That means Krishna creates, he maintains, and he also causes dissolution. So the Supreme Lord is ever existing, all blissful, all beautiful, and all knowledge, Satchidananda Vigraha. His different energies also existing. But what is actually disappearing, or what is actually going is the creation, dissolution. So here it is said, Mahatattva appears after the night of dissolution, and effulgence is manifested to exhibit the varietiness of this material world. Okay, so like Prabhupada says, the person at the night may be inactive, so covered by darkness. But then again, the next day morning, he awakens and he is going back to his process. So similarly, there is a forgetfulness of sleeping state. We forget, no? Where we are. Sometimes it happens, you take a nap in the afternoon and you get up and like, hey, which is this? Is it day or night or morning? And you just check the phone and then like, oh, then it takes some time to come back to real consciousness. So here, sometimes what happens when the Mahatattva is created, normally it is created, the manifested material ego, it's swallowed up by darkness. So darkness here is compared to what? Not being in Krishna consciousness. That is in Maya. So when we are in Maya, definitely that is darkness, or in the sense. And what happens is the time of dissolution, partial and complete dissolution. Partial dissolution, what happens? Why is it called partial?
Because that time the living entities go back to Brahmaji.
Garbhodaksha Vishnu.
Garbhodaksha Vishnu. All?
No, Satya, Jana,
Satya
Kapila.
remains as is.
Will remain.
Yeah, in heavenly planets, first 3 stays there, and the rest all go to the Garbhodaksha ocean. And in complete dissolution, everyone goes to the Supreme Lord. So here, partial dissolution and complete dissolution, Krishna himself creates it, and he remains. No, so everything else is destroyed, but the Lord, the Supreme Personality Godhead, remains. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna. Okay, so the Samkhya philosophy, we don't have to break ahead so much, but because everything is given in the 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita about the spirit soul and the properties of the soul, 1 by 10,000, the tip of the hair, Kesha, Grishada, Bhagas, everything is explained beautifully by Krishna. But Kapila Dev is just giving an advanced knowledge about Samkhya philosophy. But we don't have to worry much about the Samkhya, because most important is the previous chapter, the importance of devotional service or glories of devotional service by Kapila Dev. Okay, and later on in the 3rd canto, that is 31st chapter. Did anyone read it? 31st chapter, no? It is about, it's beautiful. It's about the spirit soul. Okay, the spirit entity, the living entity in the spirit soul, the soul, how it develops, and what are the prayers the soul prays in the womb. I think when I was pregnant, when I was like, don't know which Bhagavatam to start, because the whole 12 cantos is not possible for me to do. I had a lot of vomiting, hyperemesis gravidae, so much. I take a brush to brush my teeth, I'll vomit. So much problem I had. So I was so weak. And then one Mataji, my Shiksha Guru mentor, she said, just read 3rd canto, 31st chapter. I like 31st chapter, and I just saw it was about the soul in the womb developing. You won't believe, I think Sarita Kapoor Mataji, like gynecologists, will be amazed to read that chapter, because
it's all about embryology.
Yeah, the scanning didn't exist at that time, and nothing was there, but everything, the size of the womb, what all features develop in the baby's parts, the body parts developing in every month, like a scanning report is given in Bhagavatam. And I was amazed to see how the child moves. Even they say, how can we determine the sex of the child also? It will be this, like boy child and female child. Everything is given by Kapila Dev, and I was so amazed to read Bhagavatam. And as you read 31st chapter, the whole process of embryo development, and at the end, the soul is praying. The soul will see the Lord, and like Parikshit Maharaj saw the Supreme Lord. Similarly, we all have seen, but we forgot. And the prayer the soul is doing, the soul is saying that, please make me go out from this condition. I'll become your devotee, I promise. And all the promises we have done, and the soul see. So I was also pregnant. My sister-in-law was also pregnant. She was almost 8th or 9th month at the time. So when I was reading it loudly, the child was moving, and she could perceive the movement also for the child. And I was thinking that how so beautiful Krishna has given Srimad Bhagavatam, and there's so much of nectar. When you just keep reading and reading, you fall in love with the scripture. So that is really required. Then Srimad Bhagavatam becomes very, very easy for you. Now, all of you would have felt, no, 1st canto was difficult, but as you go to 2nd and 3rd, and you keep going to 10th canto, the sweetness keep increasing and increasing. You don't feel like stopping, especially 7th canto Srimad Bhagavatam by Prahlad Maharaj. So beautiful and amazing. So I feel you should all keep reading and reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. It really helps. And we can, it not only helps us, around us also, so many living entities. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining. Anything to add?
I have a question. In text 11, it talks about, in the previous chapters, we talked about the Pradhan is an unmanifested form. But
yes, Pradhana is unmanifested. That means there is no 3 modes of material nature. The 3 modes doesn't come, and it is an unmanifested form.
Yeah, but here it talks about, the aggregate elements, talking about that all these 5 gross elements, 5 subtle elements, 4 internal, and then it says it is called as a Pradhan.
Because that means what? The 3 modes are not included. That's it. All these elements are there, but the 3 modes of material nature doesn't become manifested. That's what it is said. It's like an inactive form.
Okay, it has to, because after that the Mahatattva state comes, which is
Yes.
the
Then
form.
it becomes activated.
Right.
Okay, so Kiruba Shankar Prabhu, yes, soul doesn't have attachment, but ultimately it only faces the results of karma, undergoing punishment in the next birth. Yeah, because see, sometimes karma can be in different stages, Prabhu. It's not just that every karma we have to suffer or enjoy in this life. No, as we know, the seed of karma, the process, it can be in bija, kutam, falonmukam. Kutam, bijam, falonmukam, krameneva praliyate, vishnur bhakti ratatmakam. So even if it can be in a bija form, a seed form, it can be half fructified, it can be completely fructified, or fully fructified. So it can be different stages of karma. So sometimes whatever we are suffering now, we might be illiterate, we might be having disease, we might have some legal cases, we might be ugly, all these are because of our papa karma. And whatever is fructified, we will suffer in this life. And whatever is in bija form, it has to remain, so that we'll suffer in next life. According to Krishna decides. It's not like we decide that, okay, let me suffer everything in this life. No, like Rashtra took 50 lives to become blind and 100 sons died. 50 lives to have punya, to have 100 sons. So based on that, based on our karma, different seeds of existing. But everything can become dry roasted. The seed can be roasted or boiled. Then it will not fructify. So that process is Krishna consciousness. So whatever we have done, it's done. But the fructification can be stopped at every stages by doing Krishna consciousness. So whatever devotees are suffering, it's all because, yes, karma, definitely devotees can be in different stage, neophyte, madhyama, kanishta, madhyama, and uttamadhikaris. Uttamadhikaris also, if you see His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, he's in a wheelchair. What all he underwent. Is it because of his karma? No, it's because of disciples' karma. So some take, like how Haridas Thakur said, those people beating in him, in 22 marketplace, please give their karma to me, please make them offenseless. So like that, even Jesus Christ, Prabhupada quotes, how they took away their karma. Vasudeva Tatta, even Prahlad Maharaj was saying, please liberate everyone, they give that karma to me. So sometimes pure devotees does that, they take our karma and purify us, and they take the suffering. Sometimes it doesn't happen. So that's why initiation is very important, not just to give off our karma, but yes, to become free from the reaction. But still, even after initiation, reactions keep coming. That's because for our purification, Krishna does it. So once I asked this question to Namanishta Prabhu about karma, and Prabhu was really kind of angry, and Prabhu said, you're doubting Krishna's karma, or you're doubting Krishna's plan of karma? And I just kept quiet. And after that, I never asked a question in my whole life. Because it's true, what Prabhu is asking is, are we doubting Krishna's rule? He decides. He is the one who decides who has to undergo what suffering or karma. And who are we to question Krishna? We just have to keep accepting whatever comes in our life, and based on our karma. But then, yes, Krishna can really help us. He can change the karma. Prabhu said that also at the end. He said, Krishna can change your karma. No one can do that, but Krishna can do that. So for a devotee, Krishna will take special care, but it depends on our surrender. And I think I can stop here. Hare Krishna.